I am Dr. Mariah Prince-Allen. I am a nurse practitioner, and I am the owner of Telehealth for Her, which is a virtual women's wellness practice where I help entrepreneurs and executive women to balance their hormones, fix their gut, and have sustainable weight loss, but more importantly, to feel like themselves again. And I would say that my mission is to ensure that as women age, they continue to age gracefully, and that this world, particularly society, supports women who are going through menopause. So I honestly thought that my dream job was going to be in academic medicine. I left all my family behind to move to North Carolina, to go to grad school at Duke, and then to work in academia. And quickly realized around the pandemic time, as I climbed the corporate ladder in leadership at the hospital, realized that that was not my dream. I never wanted to work in corporate America, and corporate healthcare was about 10 times worse. And I said, okay, this is not for me. I am literally having conversations with people about why my pay, and I've been at the system for over a decade, is the same as somebody who I just hired. And I was like, yeah, no, this isn't me. And I always loved women's health, but when I was in grad school, I was told to do like family practice so that I can have, a broader range. So that was good. But when I finished school, all I could find was jobs of like birthing babies or doing pap smears. I was like, I don't want to do either of it. So it was during the pandemic. I think we all were having like self-reflections about what are we going to be doing. I got into and started to learn about women's hormone health. And to me, that was such an eye-opening experience because I had never learned about women's hormone health. And as I did family practice, I was taught how to take care of people from womb to tomb, but we missed a whole generation of women. And I said, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm going to help these women who are having brain fog, weight gain, hot flashes, not feeling like themselves. I'm gonna help these women. And that's kind of what started me into opening Telehealth for Her and having it be virtual so that it could be accessible to all women. I would say where I am now, because of the huge pivot in my career, like I thought I was just gonna be a nurse practitioner. But now, not only am I a nurse practitioner, I'm an entrepreneur, I am a speaker, I'm a TEDx speaker, I am a corporate wellness consultant. So I do so many things outside of just take care of patients. And I get to help so many women in the process. And I think that is my story and that is my legacy, is just teaching people that you can do anything in this world, and when you really get true to who you are and not what society wants you to do, you can live so much bigger than you ever thought you could. Because if you'd have told me like in 2012 when I graduated undergrad that I'll be where I was today, I'd be like, I don't know how I'm gonna get there. I would say for me, it was overcoming perfectionism. I have always been like the perfect person. So like my dad, my parents, always have like straight A's, did what everybody wanted me to do, but I never did what I wanted to do. So that was like the biggest defining moment for me, is saying I'm gonna own my own practice, and people saying, why? Like you're giving up your stable job, your finances to do this. And I think for me, it was just realizing that I needed to be happy in life and not just doing what other people wanted me to do. So for me, I am always big on my birthday. Like I will tell you, I am a true Leo at heart. I celebrate all month long. And when I turned, it was right before, so when I turned 30, I made this goal that I wanted to have freedom 40, to have freedom in every aspect of my life, from finances to time to all the things. And I started my business about a year and a half after that. But I was dealing with imposter syndrome, and I didn't think that I could really do it. When I first started my practice in 2023, like I had like no patience. And then I had to take a business sabbatical when my dad got sick. So for me, I realized in that year, when I was right before my 34th birthday, I was so exhausted. Like mentally, physically, emotionally. I remember my husband saying, what do you want to do for your birthday? And I was like, nothing. Like, can I just like sit on the couch and kiki with the housewives, or like, can we just maybe go get a massage? I just don't really care to do nothing. But that was the defining moment for me, because I always look forward to celebrating myself. And in that moment, I didn't even have the energy to do so. And I always like do what I call like a birthday reflection. So I usually take a lot of time to just kind of reflect in the month of August. And it was during that birthday last year that God told me I would never have Freedom 40 if I continued to allow people to benefit from my value, but not pay me my worth. And in that moment, I started saying yes to me. And I got so clear on my boundaries. I started giving out no's, like I was Oprah giving out cars. And I was like, if it doesn't align with my peace, my value, my worth, if it's not really going to get me where I want to be in this world, the answer is no, period. Like no, not no because, it's just no. And I think for me, that was the defining moment. And to be where I am just a year later, I have so much more energy. I celebrated my birthday in Aruba this year. Like I was looking forward to turning 35. And that was just that moment for me when I was just so exhausted last year when I didn't even want to celebrate my own self. I would say for me, I kind of always had the confidence. I was always kind of like the it girl in school. But I didn't really always talk a lot. Like I would kind of just, be the one that's kind of just the docile friend. Like I was around the talkative crew, I was around the it girls, but I didn't really always talk that much. And I found my voice, I think, when I realized the power of my voice. And when I got into just like educating women about their hormone health. And I realized that as I was talking and educating them, women were feeling seen, they were feeling valued, they were feeling heard. And I was like, okay, I need to actually speak more. Like I need to actually educate women and just be more present. And that's when I think I really understood the power of my voice and how when I talked, women were having transformational moments. And for me, that was it. That I'm not perfect. I think that's one of the biggest ones. And then living life without regret. I think too, like, as I said earlier, like I left all my family and friends behind. So I missed a lot of stuff. But not actually, living in that. Just saying, okay, yeah, I may have missed my goddaughter's birthdays. I may have missed Christmases due to work and all that kind of stuff. But just saying, I still got so much more time ahead of me. And I'm just gonna be now more present with those family members now that I have a lot more time on my hands because I'm not doing things that other people want me to do. So becoming the whole woman means to me, being all that you are authentically, but also unapologetically. I think, being that woman who is taking care of herself physically, mentally, and emotionally, spiritually as well. But also just owning who you are and not allowing anybody to dictate who you are, to tell you what you should be doing, but to just know who you are and to love yourself as well. So I think for me, it's my purpose that's guiding me through this life now and not like societal expectations. I think too in my power, just realizing that I always had it and that I just need to actually use it. And I remember even as like a kid, like I wasn't the oldest, but I was always the one that people came to when they wanted to know where we was going this weekend, what were the weekend plans. And so everybody saw me as the leader, and I needed to just know that I was the leader, even if I was just leading myself and not having to lead others. And I would say when it comes down to my peace, again, just remembering the word no. And, saying yes to opportunities that are for me and things that don't allow me, it's okay to say no. And I'm like, yeah, I don't want to do that. I would say my growth has impacted my family, because I am the first person in my family to get a doctorate degree. My dad's birth certificate ironically says colored on it, and he is just in his 60s. So I think when I look back at that, to think just one generation, literally after segregation, the next generation was able to go to like a big university, a private, like to go to Duke and get her doctorate degree from Duke. Like that says so much growth, I think, for my family. It's something that I think they're all proud of. And then to be able to have my grandmothers witness that too, I think has been beautiful. In regards to how my growth has impacted the community, I think for me and my clients, it is just having someone, particularly a woman of color, and a woman who actually hasn't gone through menopause yet, but is actually trying to change that trajectory for the women who are coming behind her and with her, but also the women who have come before her. I think that has also been something that my growth has changed, and we're starting to have conversations about women's health that we never had before. And how it has changed my clients. I think it's given them a safe space and aware that they can get medical care by an actual healthcare provider and still just feel like they're talking to their girlfriend. Continue to say yes. I think where I am today is because I said yes to the opportunities that felt so scary, that felt like they were not supposed to be mine, that felt like I was like not prepared for them. I think my TEDx is definitely one of them. I literally never imagined that I would be a TEDx speaker. That was not on my bucket list, but somebody saw something in me that I didn't see in myself. And I had to just say yes to the woman who saw in me what I didn't see in myself and who believed in me when I didn't believe in myself. And I think that is one of the things that I will feel like that, it's just continue to say yes and just take the bold steps. And even if you don't have to know the journey ahead, just take the first step and then eventually take the next step. It's like walking all over again when you're trying to, pivot in your life and pivot in your journey, but just being open to change and being open to new experiences. I am building a lot of legacies, I feel like. I think one of the legacies is, as I said earlier, being the first person in my family to obtain a doctorate degree has been a huge legacy. But I think for a professional legacy, the legacy I want to leave behind is that menopause is not a women's health issue. It is a societal issue. And if I can get just half of the world to understand that, I think I would have made a difference in every woman's lives for generations to come. So I want everyone who's listened to my story to know that it's okay to change course careers. It's okay to be you. It's okay to not be perfect. The work just gotta be done. And I always say, that when I leave this world, the song that I want to be played is Beyonce, I Was Here. I left the footsteps in the sand that other women can now have an easier journey, especially when it comes down to like my goddaughters, my cousins. Like I have led a path for them that would make it so much easier for them. I would empower her to just love herself, to be herself, and to show up in this world just unapologetically, and to never put herself on the back burner, because you can't take care of anybody else if you don't take care of you.